My name is Philip Davis. I'm the VP of Affiliation. And if you need to email me, you can email me at affiliation@louisianapta.org. And everything we're covering today is on our website, /affiliation. All right, so why is affiliation important? So all nonprofits have an obligation with the IRS, National PTA, and LAPTA. So our goal for affiliation requirement is to keep all the PTAs, all our local PTAs from losing their nonprofit status. So without your nonprofit status, you'll have to pay income tax to the IRS on all the PTA income. And if you have any questions, just please let me know.
I sure will.
Um, okay. There are 9 requirements. Number 1 is membership dues. So submitting member dues of $350 per person to LAPTA. $225 of that is to National PTA, and $1.25 for Louisiana PTA. So all that is incorporated into that $350 for each member, and that's at /membership. So you have to have a minimum of 30 members, 30 memberships required annually, and PTAs are required to submit dues for the actual number of members. So on July 1, 2025, it's going to go up to 450. So national PTA is going to have a dollar increase. So of the 450, 325 will be national PTA, and $1.25 will be Louisiana PTA. And if y'all haven't done it so at your PTA, registering with Louisiana PTA. So all officers are required to register at /register, and the board is encouraged to register. So you'll list all officers, their positions, and if they have registered. Have y'all had a chance to register your board members yet?
Yes, sir. They sent out the reminder. It was right before the training that was in Shreveport to make sure that we registered.
Um,
Now, I do have a question regarding number 1. So, do we have to pay that in addition to your regular PTA membership dues, the 350?
What is your membership due?
It's
What are your
$10.
membership dues? $10.
Yes, sir.
So out of that $10, when you go on to our website and when you go onto the membership tab,
Mhm.
you'll click and submit 350 per person. So
Okay.
that's the rest of that goes to your PTA.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So only 350 of the $10 is a submission
Okay.
to state for dues. And bylaws. So number 3 is bylaws. You'll submit the bylaws showing the LAPTA approval stamp. So bylaws do expire every 3 years. So you may only use the LAPTA bylaws template at /bylaws. And we do have a list of everyone's expiration dates. So if you ever have any questions about your bylaws, you could just send me an email. Federal tax filing. So number 4 is federal tax filing. So you'll have to submit proof of your 2022 or 23 filed and accepted IRS Form 990. The LAPTA reports that IRS, which PTAs are exempt from federal income tax as a 501c3 charitable organization. Any PTA not listed must pay income tax. So you can see /treasurer for details on that. So the reason we ask for 2022 or 2023 is because tax filings for 2023 tax filings are due by November 15th to the IRS. So there are 3 forms: 990N if you make less than $50,000, 990EZ if you make $50,000 to $200,000, and 990 if you make over $200,000. If you make over 200,000, we need to talk. I need to learn. I need to attend your class if you're making over
Right.
200,000. So if you don't file your taxes for 3 years in a row, you will lose your nonprofit status. So budget. Number 5 is budget. So you'll submit 2 files, your local budget approval form, the approved annual budget. So remember, your budget needs to include startup funds with amounts listed as an expense and income for a net zero effect on the budget. So that will also be covered in the treasurer workshop.
Okay.
So all nonprofits are required to have a budget approved by their members. And number 6, our audit report. So you'll submit the audit committee report, which reviews the previous year. So we do prefer that you use the LAPTA audit report form rather than one that's done by another entity. So the audit committee of at least 3 people who are non-bank signers will review the books and complete the report in the treasurer's toolkit. So um, this is something that is required by the IRS for nonprofits. Number 7, your articles of incorporation. So you'll need to submit the updated articles of incorporation. The Louisiana Secretary of State website is gobiz.com. So all nonprofits are required to annually file and pay the $10 renewal fee plus a $5 credit card fee. Or if you pay by check, it's free. You'll also update your officer information. And remember, your principal may not be a registered agent. So make sure the report says in good standing after updating it. And I've noticed, I was helping a PTA that if you're not in good standing, it takes 48 to 72 hours when we were working through it for it to update in their system. You'll get a submission that you um, filed, but your status won't change for 48 to 72 hours. And that was a little notice blip that they had at the end. And I do believe it was because they were not in good standing when they refiled. So you'll want to find out when your annual report expires. And insurance. So you'll want to submit the insurance declaration page. So we do require all PTAs obtain adequate insurance protection against liability and fraudulent money loss. So without insurance, board members are personally at risk. Any insurance company that your PTA chooses is fine. Um, a lot of PTAs use AIM. And I have like a little list of um, different uh, options that they offer in their policy for general liability, fire, extended medical, media, hired non-owned auto. Um, they have crime. I mean, there's a selection to choose from. So it is a good idea to discuss your needs, meet with the insurance company, and establish what coverage you feel is adequate. So reviewing your coverage is a good idea because um, you might not be sure when it was last reviewed or updated. And just like your home or auto, you want to make sure you have the most adequate coverage available. That
I know
all
that's
right.
right.
Oh yes. And that's why we say, we use AIM, but shop around, use whatever company. And there are a couple out there that I know of offhand that insure PTAs. So it's always good to shop around. And number 9, training. So you'll need to submit proof of your training certificate for all officers. So the certificate can be downloaded at louisianapta.org/training. So we offered the in-person trainings in August, our virtual trainings in September. Um, and we can do a one-on-one training with LAPTA. We also have the self-paced Zoom videos. Board members are encouraged to receive training, especially since they should all understand all positions and roles. And should your affiliation not be filed, we don't want to go and do this. This is very rare. Um, we do have a retention phase. So the PTA enters a retention phase. So we do first step of the phase is notification. We give you 30 days to submit the missing items and a new deadline. Step two is restriction. We're giving a 30-day period. You're not eligible for rewards, programs, or grants by the Louisiana PTA or National PTA. And step three is intervention. After 60 days, the PTA signs a plan of action, which designates new deadlines. And we are working with you before we're at step one and we're working together. So um, don't fear.
Okay.
And step four is restructure. The LAPTA may choose to restructure the PTA leadership or move into the dissolution phase. And number five is dissolution. It's a loss of your 501c3 nonprofit if active affiliation is not acquired for 3 consecutive years. So as you can see, to get to step five, you're 3 years in. We're working together for 3 years at this point to get everything up and running, to get your affiliation done. So PTA leadership refuses to implement the plan of action, or the PTA is not in compliance with PTA's purpose and principles, and the bank accounts must be closed with any funds donated to a PTA. And then bylaws template. So all PTAs with current bylaws had their bylaws updated to the new template by LAPTA. It was emailed out in April or May to the current registered officers. If you need a copy, you can email me at bylaws@louisianapta.org or affiliation. They both go to me. And if they are expired, you'll need to update the bylaws with the new template and take note of the required notices and meetings needed. So there were a couple changes. Um, and you can also find it on our website, /bylaws. It has the downloads, instructions, and timelines. So read the new bylaws because they did add term limits for officers, termination of membership, and a minimum number of board meetings, and updated descriptions for standing and special committees. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. I think you covered everything. Now I
All
did
right.
print off that certificate